Close your eyes for a second. Picture yourself at 12 years old, or 7, or 16, whatever age comes to mind first. That's the one. Look at their face. Really look at them. Now tell me, what do you see? A kid who was trying their best, or a kid you're still mad at for not being enough? If you're carrying guilt for who you used to be, for the mistakes you made, the things you didn't know, the ways you failed yourself, I need you to hear something. That version of you, the one you've been so hard on for so long, has been waiting for you to say something they never got to hear. And tonight, we're finally going to say it. Here's what nobody tells you about healing. At some point, you have to stop abandoning the kid you used to be. We talk about inner child work like it's some abstract therapy concept, but it's not. It's you, at whatever age you needed someone most, still waiting for someone to tell them it's going to be okay. And that someone is you now. Most of us spend our lives running from that version of ourselves. We cringe at old photos. We avoid memories. We say, "I was so stupid back then," or "I can't believe I let that happen to me," like we're talking about a stranger we're embarrassed to know. But that wasn't a stranger. That was you, doing the best you could with what you had, surviving in ways nobody taught you how to survive, and you've been apologizing for it ever since. Let me ask you something real, and I need you to answer it honestly, even if it hurts. What are you still punishing your younger self for? For staying too long? For not speaking up? For trusting the wrong people? For not protecting yourself better? For being too sensitive? Too quiet? Too much? What's the crime you're still holding against them? Because here's the truth, the uncomfortable, liberating truth. That kid didn't fail you. The adults around them did. The systems did. The people who were supposed to protect them, guide them, see them, they failed. Not the kid, but somewhere along the way, you decided it was easier to blame yourself, because if it was your fault, at least you had control. If you were just too broken or too difficult or not enough, then maybe you could fix it. Maybe you could become someone worth keeping. So you carried the guilt. You carried the shame. You've been carrying it for years, maybe decades, thinking, when I'm finally better, I'll be allowed to rest. But what if the only way to get better is to stop carrying it? Here's where it gets weird. Stay with me. You don't owe your past an apology. You owe it forgiveness. We have this backwards. We think we need to say, "I'm sorry for being the way I was." But that kid, the one who was scared, confused, doing everything wrong because they didn't know better, they don't need your apology. They need your compassion. They need you to say, you were just a kid, and you did your best. And that was enough. Not, you should have known better. Not, if only you'd been stronger. Just, you made it. You're here. I'm proud of you. When's the last time you said that to yourself? Not the you now, but the you then. I'm guessing never. Or close to it. Because we're conditioned to apologize for taking up space, for needing things, for not being perfect from birth. We're taught that survival isn't impressive unless it looks graceful. That struggling means failing. But you know what? That 7-year-old, that 12-year-old, that 16-year-old version of you kept going when everything in them wanted to stop. They woke up the next day, even when the day before nearly broke them. They figured out how to exist in a world that didn't make sense. That's not something to apologize for. That's something to honor. Pause for a second. I'm serious. Don't just keep reading. I want you to do something that's going to feel ridiculous, but I need you to do it anyway. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to have a conversation with your younger self. Out loud. Not in your head. Out loud. Even if it's just a whisper in your bathroom at 2 a.m. Look at a photo of yourself from back then if you have one, or just close your eyes and picture them, and tell them what they needed to hear. You don't have to be poetic. You don't have to get it perfect. Just be honest. Maybe you say, "I'm sorry I've been so angry at you for so long. You were doing your best." Maybe you say, "You didn't deserve what happened to you, none of it." Maybe you say, "I see you now, and I'm not leaving you behind anymore." Or maybe you just say, "We made it. We're okay now. You can rest." Whatever comes out, that's the right thing to say, because it's the truth you've been holding back. And here's what'll happen. You might cry. You might laugh. You might feel absolutely nothing at first, and that's okay too. Your body might not know how to process being spoken to with kindness after years of criticism. But something will shift. Maybe not immediately, maybe not all at once, but talking to yourself like you're someone worth protecting, that changes things. What nobody explains about this work is that you can't heal by leaving parts of yourself behind. You can't cut off the weak version of you and just keep the strong parts. You can't disown the kid who made mistakes and only claim the adult who has it together. That's not integration. That's fragmentation. And fragmentation is exhausting. Every time you cringe at an old memory, every time you say, "I was so dumb back then," you're telling that version of you they're not welcome in your life now, that they have to stay in the past, alone, still scared, still waiting for someone to say they're good enough. But you're the only one who can bring them forward. You're the only one who can say, "You're allowed to come with me. You're allowed to exist without earning it." And when you do that, when you finally stop exiling the parts of you that feel too messy or too broken, something remarkable happens. You stop feeling so fractured. You stop spending so much energy keeping yourself together because you're not trying to hide half of who you are anymore. You become whole. Not perfect, whole. Here's the part that might break you open. That kid already forgave you. They're not waiting for you to become perfect before they accept you. They're not keeping a list of all the ways you've failed since then. They just want you to stop being so mad at them. They want you to stop looking at them like they're something to be ashamed of. They want you to see them the way you'd see any scared kid, with compassion, with patience, with the understanding that they were figuring it out as they went. You made it. That's what matters. Not how gracefully, not how quickly, not how correctly. You made it. And that kid, the one you've been carrying guilt for, the one you think you failed, they're the reason you're still here. Their resilience, their stubbornness, their refusal to give up, even when giving up would have been easier. That's what got you to now. So maybe instead of apologizing for being them, you start thanking them. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for getting through the days I can barely remember. Thank you for surviving when you didn't know how. Thank you for becoming me. Real talk. I need something from you, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Tonight. Before you sleep, I want you to write a letter to your younger self, or speak to them out loud, or look at an old photo and just sit with them for 5 minutes without judgment. Tell them what you wish someone had told you back then. Tell them they're allowed to rest now. Tell them you see them, you understand them, and you're not angry anymore. Write it like they're reading it. Because in a way, they are. The part of you that's still carrying their pain, their fear, their shame, that part is listening. And they've been waiting so long to hear you say it with love instead of resentment. You don't have to share it. You don't have to show anyone. This is between you and the version of you that needed you most. But do it. Please. Because that kid deserves to hear it. And so do you. If you made it this far, write it below. What would you tell your younger self right now? Just one sentence. The thing they've been waiting to hear. Don't overthink it. Don't make it perfect. Just write it like you mean it. Like they're reading over your shoulder, and finally, after all these years, they get to hear you say they were enough. If this made you realize how hard you've been on yourself, subscribe. We're building a community where being gentle with our past selves isn't weakness. It's the bravest kind of strength. That kid is still part of you, and they're allowed to be loved.